Hi folks, Dr. Rob Barrington here with some more nutrition advice. Now, I've done a lot of videos recently on anxiety and depression and herbs to treat anxiety and depression, so I wanted to do something a little bit different today. What I wanted to have a bit of a discussion about is baked beans in tomato sauce. I've talked a lot about beans and the effects of legumes, and beans are very healthy foods. There's a lot of research on the effects of beans, and generally of all the foods you could eat, beans and other associated legumes like lentils and peas, they're one of the healthiest foods I think that you could find and you could eat. They have so many different health effects. But I wanted to talk specifically about baked beans in tomato sauce and how healthy they might be. And this is a very interesting video, and I want to base it around a study that I will put the link to in the comments box below this video, so that you can have a look at the details of this, because it is quite an interesting study. Now, really, baked beans in tomato sauce, this is good with bad, because you have the baked beans. They are healthy, they're legumes, they have all of the properties of legumes, but they're in a sauce, and that sauce contains a lot of sugar. So really you have the good part, which is the beans, and you have the bad part, which is the tomato sauce containing the sugar. So what's the overall effect of consuming baked beans? Well, in reference to this study was actually performed on people who had high levels of cholesterol, and the purpose of the study was to see if half a tin of baked beans would be effective at changing their lipid levels. And what they found is, after 3 weeks, there was a beneficial change to the lipid levels of the subjects, and that would possibly relate to the effects of beans. Or the other studies have looked at different types of beans, different types of legume, and generally beans have this lipid lowering effect. There are gums and other fibre within the beans that may have beneficial effects on glycemia, on your blood sugar levels. And also beans have certain enzyme inhibitors that can also decrease the rate that glucose is absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract, and that also has a beneficial glycemic effect. But that's not the interesting thing about the study. The really interesting thing about the study is that the subjects lost weight. So they were eating half a tin of baked beans for 3 weeks, and the subjects lost between 1 and 1.5 kilograms of weight. Now, to put that in context, in the study, the subjects were not required to make any changes to their diet other than adding half a tin of baked beans in tomato sauce to their diet. So effectively, it was very likely, although obviously the paper can't comment on everybody's diet, but it's very likely that the subjects made relatively few or possibly no changes to their diet. They were simply instructed to consume half a tin of baked beans in tomato sauce every day. Firstly, that's not a great deal, not a large amount of beans, and secondly, the study wasn't actually for that long. It was only 3 weeks. And this is one of the studies that I often use to show the benefits of legumes. Legumes are a weight loss food. There's many reasons why legumes appear to have this weight loss effect. Like I said, they're a very good source of fibre. They have inhibitors in them that are able to prevent the absorption, delay the absorption of glucose from the gastrointestinal tract. Both of those factors together, as well as the higher protein content of beans compared with grains, for example, all of those factors together probably have beneficial glycemic effects, and they improve insulin sensitivity. Now, the beans appear to be so good at doing this that even if you consume extra sugar with them, the beans are actually able to not only overcome the deficit that is provided by the sugar, the detrimental effects of the sugar, they're also able to overcome any detrimental effects you have from other components of the diet that may be causing ill health. And remember, these subjects were they were unhealthy. They did have high blood lipid levels, and if they had high blood lipid levels, they generally probably were possibly overweight. They may have had abdominal obesity, and they may have had signs of insulin insensitivity. And in those types of people, as evidenced in this study, even taking half a tin of beans, if it's in tomato sauce, appears to have beneficial effects. Now, of course, you don't have to eat baked beans in tomato sauce. You can eat baked beans by draining the tomato sauce. For example, some tins of beans have high amounts of sauce, and once you've drained the sauce out, there's really only half a tin of beans there. So you can improve the quality of a tin of baked beans by draining out some of the tomato sauce. But of course, you can also buy legumes either tinned or frozen, and even fresh. You can buy legumes and you can eat them without the tomato sauce, and the effect then would possibly be even greater. And that's evidenced in all the other papers that have looked at legumes and beans generally, and shown that they have this weight loss and blood lipid lowering effect. So this is a very good paper that illustrates the power, the effect of baked beans in the diet. They are very healthy. If you have a look at your diet at the moment and you're eating a lot of grain, if you eat a lot of breakfast cereal, for example, if you eat a lot of bread, if you try and take some of that grain and you replace it with legumes, I think you would, and this is evidenced in the literature as well, provide yourself with health benefits that over the long term would improve your health and improve your physical and mental performance. So have a look at the paper. I'll put the link in the comments box below this video. As always, eat well, stay healthy and protect yourself, and I will see you soon for another video. Take care.